Deep in the heart of Japan, where old forests cover the mountains in shadows, lives a scary creature from folklore, the Yamamba. She's a mountain witch, full of nature's anger and tricks. Don't be fooled by her looks, because the Yamamba is great at disguises. She often looks like a weak old woman, her back bent, her white hair long like mist. Her voice is soft, her eyes look kind, but she hides a scary secret, a monstrous side that hunts those who don't suspect a thing. The Yamamba's legend is as old as the mountains, told in whispers around campfires. She's a warning, a reminder that the wilderness has secrets we shouldn't bother. If you go into her area, beware the mountain crone. Her kindness is a trick, and a hug from her means death. Travelers talk about the Yamamba in whispers, their voices barely audible over the rustling leaves and the distant calls of nocturnal creatures. The stories they share are filled with dread and caution, passed down through generations. Their voices shaking as they tell the stories they've heard, each tale more chilling than the last. The fear is palpable, a shared experience that binds them together in their wariness of the unknown. Some say she's a vengeful spirit, made crazy by sadness or betrayal. Her presence is felt in the cold gusts of wind that sweep through the trees, in the eerie silence that follows. They say she wanders the forests, her soul unable to find peace. Others say she's a demon, eating the life force of those dumb enough to trust her. Her eyes, glowing with malevolence, are said to pierce through the darkness, seeking out her next victim. The tales of her cruelty are enough to make even the bravest shudder. Whatever she is, the Yamamba's legend is made of fear and superstition. Her story is etched into the very fabric of the mountains, a cautionary tale that warns of the dangers lurking in the shadows. The folklore is rich with descriptions of her terrifying visage and the ominous signs of her presence. Her story reminds us that mountains are beautiful but dangerous, where the real and the supernatural mix together. The rugged terrain and the dense forests create a perfect setting for such legends to thrive, where the line between reality and myth is often blurred. The wind carries her whispers through the trees, making the leaves rustle and the air cold. It's as if the very elements conspire to spread her legend, to keep her memory alive in the minds of those who dare to venture into her domain. She's always there, watching, waiting to strike. Her presence is a constant, an unending threat that looms over the forest. The feeling of being watched, the sudden chill in the air, all serve as reminders of her ever-present danger. Those who hear her voice freeze in fear, unable to move or talk as she gets closer. The paralysis that grips them is a testament to the power of her legend, a fear so deep that it renders them helpless in the face of her approach. The Yamamba's legend is a warning, a reminder that the wilderness can be cruel. The mountains, with their untamed beauty, hold secrets that are best left undisturbed. Her story serves as a deterrent, a reason to respect the power and mystery of nature. It's a story told to keep people safe, to make them think before going into the mountains alone. Around campfires, in the safety of their homes, people share these tales to remind each other of the dangers that lie beyond the familiar paths. The legend of the Yamamba is a part of the cultural fabric, a story that continues to be told generation after generation. The oldest story of the Yamamba is in the Konjaku Monogatari, a book of Japanese tales from a long time ago. This collection, also known as Tales of Times Now Past, is a significant anthology of over 1,000 stories, compiled during the late Heian period. This old book, written in the 1100s, has a scary story that shows the Yamamba's tricky nature and her hunger for human life. The Konjaku Monogatari is divided into 3 parts. Stories from India, China, and Japan, with the Japanese section being the most extensive. The story, called the Yamamba, is about a Buddhist priest who meets a nice old woman in the mountains. This tale is a classic example of how folklore can blend elements of the supernatural with everyday life, creating a narrative that is both captivating and eerie. Not knowing who she really is, the priest takes her offer of shelter only to find he's in a deadly trap. The old woman, who initially appears kind and hospitable, reveals her true nature as the fearsome Yamamba, a mountain witch with a voracious appetite for human flesh. This story is one of the most important versions of the legend. It has been passed down through generations, each retelling adding new layers of depth and horror to the original tale. It has inspired many other stories, making the Yamamba one of Japan's most famous and scary monsters. The character of the Yamamba has appeared in various forms of Japanese art and literature, from no plays to modern horror films, cementing her place in the cultural imagination. The story of the priest and the Yamamba is a warning, reminding us that looks can be deceiving and that even holy people can be hurt by the supernatural. It serves as a timeless reminder of the dangers that lurk in the unknown and the importance of being cautious, even when things seem benign. Our story starts with a young Buddhist priest full of faith going to a faraway temple high in the mountains. The path is long and dangerous, going through thick forests and over rocks. As the sun sets, the priest realizes he's lost. It gets colder and snow starts to fall. Tired and cold, the priest finds a small hut covered in snow. He knocks on the door and a voice tells him to come in. Inside, he sees an old woman with a wrinkled face and twinkling eyes. She welcomes him, offering food and shelter. Thankful and needing rest, the priest accepts her offer. The false invitation. The old woman makes a simple meal for her guest. The aroma of the stew fills the small, dimly lit hut, creating a sense of warmth and comfort. The flickering fire casts dancing shadows on the walls, adding to the cozy atmosphere. As they eat, she listens to the priest talk about his journey and his faith. He shares stories of the temples he has visited and the people he has met along the way. The old woman nods and smiles, her eyes twinkling with interest. She's so nice that the priest feels safe and comfortable. He feels a sense of relief, believing he has found a kind soul in this remote place. The warmth of the fire and the kindness of the old woman make him feel at ease. After they eat, the old woman makes a bed for the priest, using furs and blankets to keep him warm. She carefully arranges the blankets, ensuring that he will be comfortable throughout the night. The priest watches her with gratitude, feeling blessed to have found such a generous host. Tired, the priest thanks her and lies down, thinking about the temple and the challenges ahead. He reflects on his journey, feeling a sense of accomplishment and anticipation for what lies ahead. The soft furs and blankets provide a comforting embrace as he drifts off to sleep. He falls asleep to the sound of the wind and the fire. The gentle crackling of the fire and the distant howl of the wind create a soothing lullaby, lulling him into a deep and peaceful slumber. He's thankful for the old woman, thinking Buddha led him to safety. In his dreams, he sees visions of the Buddha guiding him through the forest, leading him to this safe haven. He feels a deep sense of gratitude and peace. He doesn't know he's been tricked, lured into a trap by something evil. The shadows in the room seem to grow darker, and an eerie silence fills the air. Unbeknownst to the priest, a sinister presence watches him as he sleeps. The old woman's true self, hidden under kindness, will soon be revealed, and the priest will fight for his life against a horror he never imagined. Her face contorts into a monstrous form, and the priest awakens to a nightmare. The once comforting hut now feels like a prison, and he must summon all his courage and faith to survive the night. The mountains embrace. The priest wakes up suddenly, his heart racing. He feels scared as the hut is now very hot. He looks at the hearth, expecting to see the fire's embers. Instead, he sees something terrifying. The fire burns bright green. Standing by the fire is the old woman, but she looks different. She's bigger, scarier, and her white hair moves like snakes. She slowly turns to him, a cruel smile on her face. Her eyes, once kind, now glow red, showing her true self. The Yamamba is revealed. A ghastly discovery. Fear freezes the priest as the Yamamba comes closer, her claws long and sharp. She leans down, her breath hot and smelly, and whispers, "You shouldn't be here, little priest. This mountain is mine, and now you're mine too." The priest scrambles back, wanting to escape. He looks around for a way out, but there's nowhere to go. As the Yamamba moves closer, he sees something strange on the floor. It's a human skull, its empty eyes staring at him. The priest realizes the truth. The food, the shelter, the kindness, it was all a trick. He's not a guest, he's prey. Escape from darkness. The priest jumps to the side as the Yamamba attacks, her claws missing his head. He gets up and runs to the door. The Yamamba screams and catches his arm with her claws, tearing his clothes and cutting him deeply. Even though it hurts, the priest breaks free and runs out into the cold night. He doesn't look back as he runs through the snowy forest. The Yamamba's roars echo behind him. He knows if he stops, she'll catch him. Echoes of the Yamamba. With great effort, the priest escapes. He runs until, as the sun rises, he finds a path to safety. The experience leaves him scarred. He remembers that scary night forever. The story of the priest and the Yamamba is a serious warning, reminding us that danger can hide anywhere. It teaches us to be careful because not everyone who is nice is actually nice, and some smiles hide a deep darkness. The Yamamba's legend lives on, a scary reminder of the power of tricks and the importance of listening to warnings. The mountains have many secrets, and some are better left alone. Please subscribe to our channel for more terrifying tales.